Thank you. Yeah, Derek McInness is 2 weeks into his new role as Rangers manager, 1 week into pre-season, and he's been a very busy man. 5 signings in the door already, and he's even found the time to stop and speak to us as well. Derek, good to see you. First of all, how have the first couple of weeks gone as Rangers manager?
Yeah, good. Obviously, first week a lot of conversations about trying to how the squad would shape up, and then the last week's been great, just getting back into things and obviously getting that introduction to the players here. Integrating the new signings, obviously there's been a lot of good work done by the club, and it's well documented. We're trying to bring a few more into before the start of the season if we can. So, but the pre-season's going well. Pre-season serves its purpose. It's there to get the players fit for the full campaign, not just for the first game. And you know, players have been working extremely hard. I feel as though that pre-season's a necessary evil for players. They've got to understand that, and it's got to be that single-mindedness to get work through it and be as fit and as strong as you possibly can when you come through it. And you know, the application's been first class, and really enjoying just getting to know everybody in and around the club. How
pleased are you with the business that's been done already?
Yeah, I think you know, it's been good work been done. There was a lot of these conversations were ongoing ahead of my appointment, but obviously in meetings with the recruitment team and Jim and Andrew, we're kind of clearing what we're looking for in terms of key positions, the types of players we want to bring to the club as well. And I think what we have had with the signings is a mixture of all that, but good types underpins everything, you know. And there's a lot of players, a few players familiar to Scottish football. I think is something we want in the squad as well. And there's also room for players who are coming to Scotland and Rangers and recognising that for the first time. And what Rangers can give players, you know, we as a club can give players so much with success and the reward, everything else that comes with it. It's a brilliant club to play for if you're winning. So we've got a lot that we can sell, but equally we need players to know that what they can bring us. And what we need at this moment in time is ready-made, good types of players in the building, players who train right every day, players who have the right approach, that winning mentality, and that leadership qualities that every manager looks from their team.
I'm sure you won't stop there. Are there other areas you'd still like to strengthen? Where do you think you can still improve the squad?
Yeah, there's areas. I'm not going into specifics now, but there's clearly a lot of conversations been going on. You know, we've got a lot of players in the building at the minute, and I'm looking forward to, as I say, getting to know a wee bit more familiar with the players that are already here. Because from the outside looking in, you can have a set opinion, but it's only really working with players day in, day out that you can really can forge that opinion better. And you know, as I say, there's some players here that are catching the eye already and doing well in training. But there will be a natural progression. There'll be players moving out the way to get players in. Streamlining the squad and getting the right number is very important as well. But you know, as I say, we're a long way from that. We're a long way from the end of the window closing. But what we would like to do, and I think the good work that's been done kind of highlights that, is the fact we want to be as strong as we can for the first game proper against Dundee United. So there's a lot of work to do, both physically, integration of players, getting the players up to match speed, and also a lot of work to do to try and bring players in as quickly as possible. But sometimes you need to wait for the better ones a lot of the time, and we need to just be patient at times, as well as still be forthright with our intentions.
The club have spoken before about trying to bring in leadership figures to the squad. If you look at the profile of some of the guys you've brought in already, they certainly fit that. Can you talk us through what the process will look like for trying to appoint the next captain of this football club after James Tavernier's departure?
Yeah, I think you know, it's always a topic. I think when you go into a club when there isn't, there's maybe an obvious vacancy there. As obviously James has moved on now and he's been the captain here for a long time, and it's always something that people get obsessed about, you know, and always will ask you about. But I'm actually quite relaxed about it at the minute. Obviously somebody's got to take the team down the tunnel and somebody's got to be the club captain, and it is a big honour to be captain of the club. But I'm trying to fill the dressing room with a lot of captains, to be honest, and then I'll have the benefit and the luxury of being able to choose one. And at the minute, as I say, we're a long way from making that decision, but I'd like to think we're going to get a number of good, viable options who can take that role on.
Given the way the transfer window has gone so far, it seems clear that the backing is there from Chairman Andrew Kavanagh and the boards. How confident are you that you'll get that support to really bring in a marquee signing for big money this summer?
Yeah, I think there's been discussions made, and obviously and there's been a lot of encouragement for what we can and can't do. You know, I think what we've got to do, if a manager that's not always been used to getting everything that you want, and that's just par for the course. But clearly been well supported. You know, there's an intention from the board and everybody within the club just to try and get the best Rangers squad put together and the best Rangers team on the pitch. And I've got an idea of what my Rangers team needs to look like day in, week out, and how I want my Rangers squad to behave and act day in, day out. So we're of similar messaging, similar kind of needs and what we're desires about what we're trying to get. And sometimes it costs money and sometimes it doesn't. But we're on the same page in the sense about the key positions, the type of players that we want to bring in. But everything's got to be done within a reasonable cost. But there is the support there, clearly.
I'm sure you'll be aware, but Lewis Ferguson is a name that keeps coming up. If you've worked with him before, I'm sure you enjoyed working with him as well. Have there been any discussions at all between yourself and the club about potentially trying to work on a move to bring Lewis to Rangers?
So there's been loads of discussions about so many players. All I want to do is bring players who can have a high level, technical level, and the ability to play for Rangers. So, and obviously there's a number of players that have been linked with us that do possess that. So I think it'd be wrong for me to speak about any player individually. I understand it's an obvious link. But we have just got to work away, see what we can do and what we can bring into the club. And if it's clear that we can't bring people in, then we move on quickly. But I've got an idea of the players and the types that I want to bring in, and hopefully we can work towards that.
In terms of outgoings, it was announced that Jack Butland has left the club. Today, are you expecting interest in some of your other assets? For example, Nico Raskin had a great game yesterday in the World Cup against Senegal.
Yeah, possibly, but these are things I don't know, you can't control. But you're right, as players, the World Cup's a great stage and obviously Nico has done well, but, whether there'll be natural progression for a lot of players aren't going to get guaranteed game time here and they might be better served going elsewhere to find that. But these discussions are kind of ongoing. A lot of clubs aren't even back yet because of the World Cup, so sometimes these can take a bit longer, but we want to have a kind of number of squad, a good number of squad that meets the demand and streamline it a wee bit. And there's no doubt we've got good players here who could be of interest, as you said.
Just finally, under a month until the first competitive game back in the league, how excited are you for that game and about really what is possible here at Rangers?
Yeah, I think everything we do from now to then is geared towards that. I think pre-season, as I say, serves its purpose. Games are important just to build that familiarity and that kind of continuity of forging those relationships and understanding what we're looking for. Pre-season results aren't the most important thing, but what is the most important thing is being as ready as we possibly can be, both physically, tactically ready for that, and in the best state possible squad-wise. So we're all well aware, as I said, we're trying to get as much done on the training pitch and off the pitch recruitment-wise so that we can be as ready for that game, because that game will be a test. There's no two ways about it, but it's a good start for us in the sense it's a brilliant game, live on Sky, and everything that brings with it. So looking forward to that when it comes round.
Derek, thank you so much for your time. We'll let you get off. Busy period ahead both for Rangers and for Derek McInness as they prepare for that first game of the season. 4 weeks tomorrow, away to Dundee United, and as Derek says, live on Sky Sports.